a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradigm. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees.
Good morning from Paradise Surfers. Happy Tuesday, September 23rd. We got a big show for you guys today. Speculation about this announcement coming out of the White House. Could it be related to crypto in your 401ks? Could it be related to a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Could Trump be coming out of left field with a wild card announcement? We simply do not know as of now, and so we will speculate, we will guess, we will ruminate and discuss. Gold. Look at gold. I kind of said I never bought gold. I got a couple pieces of gold jewelry lying around here and there, but never got into gold. But my goodness, the gold run seems to not want to stop. When is it going to rotate into Bitcoin? Like, wasn't this supposed to happen by now? I think it's going to still happen, guys. Be patient. And we got some surf news to cover later towards the end of the show. Big buyback from the Dow funds that we will be doing here live. So very excited to be here, guys. My name is Crypto Amaru. My wife is calling. I do not know why, so I will let Nick take it away.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, Pulse Chain is too deep. That means Surf is too cheap. So the Dow has voted to deploy $3,000 worth of PLS. Buy Surf off the open market, and that will be burnt here later today or tomorrow. That is deflation, and that is how prices go higher. Yeah, talking about gold. Well, what do you know? Let's pull up the charts here. Gold is hitting our target, as we said it would be. So I think the rotation that you're mentioning happens sooner rather than later. Let's look at the gold chart, XAU. Well, what do you know? Boom. I mean, this is what we're talking about, folks. We talked about this whole consolidation. We drew this, and we drew this line months ago with a target of somewhere between $38.82 to $4,000. Right now, we are $37.86. I think $4,000, number one, is the measure move of the breakout of this triangle. Number two is a big mental barrier. So I think anywhere around 4,000, that will be a stopping point for gold. Can it go higher? Can it go to 41, 42? Yes. Just because you sell 4,000, it goes to 4,200, another couple percent higher. Don't yell at me, okay? Now, why do I think that gold gains can rotate into Bitcoin and Bitcoin can actually take off in a big way? I just posted this chart earlier this morning. This is very interesting to me. Look at this gold pattern, and here's the breakout that we've seen. Look at Bitcoin. Very similar. And look at the timing with the 4-year halving cycle. Supposed to have an explosive end of 2025. We've been saying extending to 2026. Look at that. It looks very similar. If it breaks out, you're looking at $250,000, $300,000, $360,000 Bitcoin. Maybe that's how some of these predictions are being made. Also, for those of you who say that Bitcoin still can't go parabolic, oh my God, it's too big, it's too heavy, it's already 100,000, how's it going to go parabolic? Gold has a 12x market capitalization of Bitcoin, and look at that chart. Gold's market capitalization, we're going to look it up later, is probably close to $25 trillion on this rally, while Bitcoin is still sitting at 2.5 trillion, 10x smaller. So the fact that gold is doing this shows you how much capital is on the sidelines, how much capital is in the world, and Bitcoin could follow, has followed in the past, and will follow this time around as well. What do you think of this chart? Have you seen this one floating around?
I think we've seen our future. I think this is a wonderful prediction, not just in the near term, which I think we are going to have a breakout on Bitcoin, you know, sooner rather than later, absolutely, end of the year here, you know, Q4, a year after the halving, all those things. But if you go back to the previous chart you showed of gold, that slow grind up, that slow grind, this is what Bitcoin would look like if it wasn't for the Binance manipulation. We talked about the Binance manipulation yesterday. That has basically been proven, folks. Wintermute, Binance together conspiring to wipe out your leverage trading because that's how they make money. That is their literal business model. Yes, we have huge whales buying up the chart, but that's mostly OTC deals. Michael Saylor is not buying off the spot markets. He's buying over the counter directly from the miners, directly from OTC trading desks like Galaxy Digital. And same goes for Metaplanet and all the other whales that are buying tremendous amounts of Bitcoins. It's not showing up in the charts, those buys, but you know what is? The Wintermute and Binance manipulation. So don't get shaken out by those guys, but this is the future of Bitcoin. Slow grind up. Parabolic move coming, I believe, here the next few weeks, probably starting in October. So we're in a good spot, guys. I know it feels shitty, but this dump is all Binance and Wintermute.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting too is, you see it all over CNBC, you see it all over your news feed. Gold, new all-time highs, everybody's hyped, and then you do the actual math of the breakout. It's only up 11%, which is pretty interesting because 11% doesn't get most of us out of the bed in crypto. But, I think it is a proxy of what's to come moving forward. Also, like we said, gold is now like a $25 trillion market cap, while Bitcoin is $2.2 trillion. So if you extrapolate that, you do 10.98 times the 12x that gold or that Bitcoin could do to catch up to gold, you're looking at like 120 to 130% gain on Bitcoin in the future, which would put you where? Right to around the $244,000, $255,000 target that we've had long standing for a while now. Just saying. I mean, numbers don't lie. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. The charts look the same. The maths. And, now Michael Saylor's out here calling for $350,000 Bitcoin. I thought I was crazy saying 244. So we'll see what happens the remainder of Q4. But I think we still believe that there could be an extension into 2026. And there was a couple of news things I quote tweeted here that will lead me to believe that, hey, this is more macro news that wasn't known yesterday, that's known today, that could extend us into 2026. The White House says they expect the Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill to be passed by the end of the year. If the bill isn't even passed to the end of the year, it's not going to go into effect to actually benefit the markets. That means maybe we go into 2026, more bullish stuff. We got Powell today set to deliver another speech at 12:35. Will it be dovish or hawkish? Doesn't really matter. If they do another 50 basis point cuts this year, another 0.25 basis point cuts next year, that means QE is still on through 2026. Does the bull market extend? I don't know. That's another bullish macro point. And then the last one I saw, the SEC plans to introduce innovation exemption for crypto firms, again, by the end of the year. If the exemption isn't even live until the end of the year, no companies or crypto firms can even use it until 2026. Another bullish macro that could extend this bull market into 2026. Now, these are all bullish. We'll follow along. The goal has always been, hey, euphoria by the end of 2025, probably take some profits. But these are a lot of things that aren't going to even be enacted until the end of 2025 and won't even kick in until 2026. What do you think about these three things here?
Yeah, the more I think about this and research and dig into these sort of stories, the more I come to the conclusion that it feels unlikely that we will hit a euphoric blow-off top moment exactly at the end of 2025, just like the other two cycles that appeared before us. So, I think the bullish news is going to continue. I think the rate cuts are going to continue. I think Powell's speech today actually will move the markets likely up because he's unlikely to have done a dovish speech. What was it, a week ago? His dovish speech and the rate cut and everything, and then it's not like new data's come out, and then all of a sudden he turns hawkish. So my guess is it's a dovish speech again, reiterates the same points. I don't actually know where he's speaking or what the context is. Who knows if he even touches on Fed policy. But my guess is if he does, it's going to be dovish. But all this news out of the White House, by the way, I don't think these are the stories that the market's been sort of speculating and guessing on. These are bullish, no doubt about it. But I'm sure you've seen the news, like, there's a massive story coming out of the White House. I don't think this is them. I mean, I don't think, because this is kind of known stuff. It's like they already have the bill, the market structure bill, in the works for months now. They talked about it when the Genius Act was passed. There was even a discussion of whether to combine the two bills, right, at that time and pass them both at once. They opted, separate the Genius bill out, the stablecoin bill out, pass that first, continue to work on the market structure bill, the comprehensive crypto regulation bill, come and pass that at the end of the year. So that's known. That's known. The news about 401ks was mostly known as well. That dropped yesterday. That basically there was a letter sent from various senators over to the head of the SEC, Paul Atkins, imploring him to sort of formalize and finalize this, I guess call it exemption or whatever, or to add 401ks to be able to invest into Bitcoin and crypto. And then the final news story you mentioned, you had there the SEC saying, there's going to be a structure or some regulation in place, an island or whatever you call it, sandbox, excuse me, where folks can register and launch a legally compliant altcoin. That is somewhat new. I don't know if that's big news. I think the big news is going to be something a little bit out of the blue here, a little bit surprising. I know Michael Saylor was meeting with Donald Trump. He was in the White House just a few days ago. So my guess is it's going to be something not related to the news that just dropped. But I could be wrong. What are your thoughts? What's your speculation on what they were speaking about in the White House the other day?
Yeah, I don't have much speculation. Is some of the news that we've shared what it is, or is it going to be something different? Here is a post an hour ago that says, reminder, President Trump will deliver a major speech in the next hour. So, I mean, is this speech going to happen while we're live on air? Are we going to see market action? I don't know. Regardless, anytime the President of the United States is talking about Bitcoin or crypto in a positive light, that is a good thing. So we'll see what the market thinks of it. Again, we just came off a massive liquidation. That was kind of a manipulated liquidation. We talked about that yesterday and speculated on it. Info's come out that we were right on that. So you already saw a dip. I don't think this can be a kind of sell buy the rumor, sell the news event here, because we've already kind of sold off. So I don't think it's going to be a negative light. I think Trump talking is going to be positive. I hope it's something new. Even if it's not, I think it's still good. Then we got Powell talking, which I think is going to be dovish. And then we got those other macro things coming where you're going to see all these departments saying, hey, we're getting something done by the end of 2025. Also, remember, when they say by the end of 2025, usually that's occurring in November or very early December, because none of these motherfuckers work during the holidays. I used to work in the financial institutions. They would all just save their PTO and then literally take off from Thanksgiving all the way until January 3rd. So if it's going to be coming, it's probably going to be coming sooner than you think, just because none of these people work around the holidays.
Lazy bums in Congress, get to work, pass laws, pump our bags. What are you doing? You can take a 2-week vacation like the rest of us. In any event, we have some listeners here I want to just give some shout outs to. We got Martin in the house. What's up, buddy? Meek Chapo, how you doing, my friend? Good morning. This looks like someone who we don't recognize, but welcome. Crypto Jack 3. Smash, like, subscribe, good vibes. Elbow cough. Elbow cough, of course. We all know what that means. And, of course, Todd is here as well. Shout out to you, Todd. Thanks for joining and listening in. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but wouldn't it make so much sense that the day before Trump makes a huge crypto-related speech that the market makers will just dump us out, flush out the leverage longs, and then Trump comes out, does a speech, pumps, and then they run it up again, and then they, wreck the shorts.
What's interesting here is shorts are piling up. I saw this morning at like 6 a.m., so I haven't checked the live chart, but somebody tweeted at like 6 a.m. my time that shorts are piling up. They're way outweighting the longs right now, and that's happening at these lows. Right before you have Powell talking, you have Trump talking, you got the SEC bullish news. I don't know about you guys. I would not be shorting right now. But, hey, to each their own. If you go a little lower, we look at this chart and we talk about this. What's interesting is, hey, we should have probably made a trade. If you're in patreon.com/learncrypto, Todd did sell his Bitcoin, held his ETH up here, right around here, right before the Fed meeting, around 17. But, we had this inverse head and shoulders that I saw. The target was 117 to 118. We hit exactly that. Now we sold off with this manipulation. And, we're sitting down here at the lows. Worst case scenario, in my opinion, is this is like an A, a B, and a C, and you go slightly lower to maybe 110,000 if you're lucky. Best case scenario is you go to 350,000. So if you're playing risk to reward ratios, I think being long probably makes a little more sense here. But we'll keep following along. The chart is fully reset back to this neckline. There is some potential bullish news coming out today, but I don't think the market is pricing that in now, because I think everybody is a little in despair, a little spooked after seeing the waterfall effect we saw on Bitcoin, and even harder we saw it on Ethereum yesterday. You can see that one wicked even lower. But again, these are kind of catching themselves. The pessimists in the room say, yes, we're oversold, but we look like we need one more leg down just to do a final flush before we can move higher. Again, the same levels apply to Ethereum. Even if you go to 3,900, that's just a bullish retest. So all this right now is just chop. We're waiting, we're seeing, and we're leaning to be on the long side versus the short side. We don't think the cycle is over. We think there's potential to go into 2026. And this isn't fun to see, but it's where we are. So what are your thoughts on Ethereum? What do you think of the price action? Is there any bullish catalyst for Ethereum?
When did all the market participants in crypto become such big pussies? When did that happen? Because I remember in the early days, like, we weren't phased by dumps. I mean, maybe we were. Maybe I have rose-colored glasses remembering back in the day. I don't know. But it feels like everyone's a big pussy now. Everyone in Ethereum, I'd say 95% of Ethereum investors are in profits right now, even at these levels. Think about that. Almost all Ethereum investors, I think 90-something%, are in profits, and yet you're bitching and moaning, and you're worried about a 4% correction. What the hell happened, guys? What happened to the diamond-handed chads that weren't phased by a little bit of market manipulation? What happened to the guys that said, you know what, this shit is going to 20,000, 60,000, $100,000 ETH in the next 10 years. I don't care about a little dip. What happened to you guys? Where'd you go? Now it's full of, oh, I want 100x an hour. You know, I'm gonna go on Binance and do leverage trading and try to get rich overnight, and you get wrecked. I'm gonna go to the meme coin casino and get wrecked. Come on.
I think
he's chasing quick money. Have long-term time horizons. Don't be scared about these dips, and you will make it.
I think everybody just has a trying to do quick flips right now. Also, you had a 2-year, 3-year bear market as far as everything besides Bitcoin. Had a 3-year bear market. Bitcoin had a 2-year bear market. Everybody's down in the dumps, and that's why everybody's micro-analyzing every little move here. And even us, we're traders. We're not even like, this is very small gains. We're looked at gold, euphoria on gold, and it's up 10%. It's kind of wild. I don't know. Things are a little different now, and hopefully the chadness comes back. Maybe when alt season comes, people have money, people are feeling better. I think we're going to see that, you know, diamond hand, and people are going to round trip bags and everything else. But yeah, it hasn't been here in a while, and the conviction is very gone. Remember, at these lows on Ethereum, we were telling you to buy. Down here, people were begging, like, I don't even know if we're going to see 4,000 ETH this cycle. Holy cow, this is insane. And then as soon as we start ripping, now everybody's in ETH chat. Oh, of course I was long. We're going to 20,000. So it's like, I think the morale and the momentum can switch really fast. But my gosh, yeah, it's been a little hectic here. Of course, I think people are thinking, this is what I think is affecting it too. Everybody looks at your balance. We look at our own balance and we're like, oh my gosh. But they're thinking, the cycle is over in September. The cycle is over in October. I haven't made it yet. Holy cow. That's why you're so frustrated. Instead of thinking the cycle is probably extending to 2026. I have more time here. These things are going to go higher. QE just turned on. I don't have 1 month or a week. I have 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year from now to make it. And I think that's also what's weighing on people. They're looking at historical trends. Some people are saying it's already over. They said September like 15th was the top. Other people are saying October 15th or whatever is the top. You know, earlier this year we said probably December, and now we're saying potentially into 2026. So if your time horizon is a week ago or 1 month, then yeah, I would be panicking too.
If your time horizon is a week, you're fucked to begin with. But yeah, good luck to those folks. I don't think the world is simple as, well, last time it was 543 days, so therefore this time it must be 543 days. What an asinine way to evaluate the market. Whatever happened to looking at Fed policy? Whatever happened to the laws are getting passed? Whatever happened to the announcement Donald Trump's going to make? Whatever happened to all the macro stuff? Those previous cycles didn't just end because an arbitrary date was hit. They ended because Fed policy tightened. They ended because we had a euphoria, and then there was way too many coins in the market, and there was way more supply than demand, and the market crashed. They ended for substantive reasons, not just arbitrary. A date happened. What is this? What does this date happen? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. If you guys are selling because there's a date coming up, you know, God bless you. Good luck to you. I will be holding on. I will be staying strong and long as always. What are we looking at here? What is that? S&P 500?
This is the NASDAQ. Hit another all-time high yesterday. It is down slightly today, but not much. Still over 24,700. Meanwhile, we see Ethereum is down today, but BMNR and SPET in the traditional stock markets are up today. They just announced they bought some more Ethereum. They have all their Ethereum stake. They're earning more ETH, so they're still diamond handing and still believing in the upside potential. But I mean, look at the stock market. Now, the only concern is, all right, if there's any kind of consolidation in the stock market, maybe even comes back here to 24,000, can Bitcoin, can Ethereum stand on their own footing and do what they've done in previous cycles, not giving a shit about the stock market and trading on their own? Obviously, there's a big correlation between Bitcoin and ETH in traditional finance now because traditional finance is invested. But this is still supposed to be a decentralized market, a separate market, a hedge against the traditional market, a hedge against the inflation. So can Bitcoin get more in line with gold, get more in line with hedges versus continuing to follow the stock market? Because right now the stock market is continuing to go up. Bitcoin and ETH haven't followed. So if NASDAQ has a little 2%, 3% correction, Will the footing be strong enough for Bitcoin and Ethereum to go up and to the right? That's the biggest question. That's when we might have to wait and see. Or maybe we never see it and stocks just go up and to the right forever. I don't know.
Well, a couple points there. I do think Bitcoin would be higher if it wasn't for this Binance and winter manipulation. That's just a fact, right? They're manipulating the market down. They flush out the leverage longs. We know that happened. There's been reports. There's been proof, evidence of that. You can go on crypto Twitter and research it. We're not just making it up. So if it wasn't for that, we would be higher. Second point I want to make is we talk about diversification on this show, and this is a great example. If you have some money in the stock market, and I know not everyone has enough money to put diversification. Okay, I get that. But for those that do, I mean, like I have money in the stock market, so when my crypto's not going up and my stock's going up, I still sleep pretty well at night. I'm like, all right, well, crypto hasn't run, but at least, you know, my portfolio looks decent. Same thing with your crypto holdings. I think a lot of people made a mistake of sort of ignoring Bitcoin this cycle, and maybe even potentially ignoring Ethereum this cycle, and just like, okay, I'm gonna just have like 4 low cap gems and like hope for the best. And look, we love low cap gems as much as the next guy, but our position has always been allocate a small percentage of your portfolio into these little low cap gems, because yeah, okay, one can do 100x, but a lot won't. You don't want to have too much concentration of it. So like speaking personally, I'm feeling pretty good because like I have a lot of ETH. I still have some Bitcoin from back in the day. Like, so I mean, yeah, the market's down a little bit, but I mean, I'm up over the past few years, so like I'm good. That's kind of, you got to be diversified. Try to have holdings across different asset classes, and then that kind of mitigates the feeling you might get if crypto's underperforming at a moment in time.
And I just looked, the Nasdaq is slightly down today, but Dow Jones and S&P 500 are green today and hitting new all-time highs as we speak.
Great. Wow. Well, good. I mean, I guess the thing about it, it's funny, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, I don't check my stock holdings, like, ever. I can check them, like, once every, like, 3 or 4 months. I'll, like, log into that account. Oh, cool, okay. And it's funny, it really doesn't go up that much. You're like, wait, last time I checked, I think it was the same amount. It has gone up a bit, but it's funny how these things, like, grind slower and, like, you're happy with 10% a year, and that's really how it works over there on the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Crypto, I check my portfolio every day. And of course, you're a little more sensitive and it swings more wildly. But yeah, look, it's great to see S&P 500, great to see NASDAQ running. I do think the asset classes are all correlated now. The financial markets are integrated and connected to one another because of these ETFs and because institutions are involved in crypto, so on and so forth. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're going to have their moment in the sun again. It's not this week. It's not today. Or maybe we'll see when the Trump press conference happens. But for this last couple of days, we've been a little red, or even the past few weeks. It's okay, guys. This is just how it goes. If you want to make it in a space, you're going to have to weather the storms. And I just want to say hello to Danny. Shout out, Danny. How you doing, bud? Fear index used to be better than this. We've seen worse. Yeah, I mean, the fear indexes, we're kind of in neutral, and maybe we're creeping towards more fear. I haven't checked that in a couple days, but we're nowhere near the greed. I mean, that's a good thing. Like, if you want this cycle to continue into 2026, you don't want that to be full greed. You want it to be like neutral, even a little bit bearish, because that means we got more time. So don't worry, guys. We're all going to be fine here. No need to panic.
Yes, sir. Let's pull up Pulse Chain here. We'll see what they're doing. That's the one chart we didn't look at today.
Good morning, Moonmutt. I love that name, Moonmutt.
Pulse Chain PLS up 0.25%, PLSX down 2.5%, Ink up again 3.5%, and Hex up 3.85%. So nice to see some green. These are coming into major support levels here. If you look at PLS, this is a critical level for this chart. We haven't looked at this chart in a while. But we had the head and shoulders that hit our target. It came all the way up to our breakout level target here. Had the inverse Adam and Eve, which is a bullish or a bearish formation. We said we don't want that to play out because we're going to head back to the green line. Well, look where we're at. Sitting on the green line again. This is why this is a critical level. Yes, you have the uptrend, but you really don't want to go to these new lows. So let's see if PLS can put itself together. Let's see if Ethereum can put itself together. So far, it is holding the major support that is needed and up 123% off the lows so far. Slightly underperforming Ethereum. I think Ethereum is something like 150% off the lows, even with its dips. So, PLS slightly underperforming, still up over a double, but man, this is the level that you kind of want to hold and continue towards this target of 7,000. If that happens, you can expect projects like Surf Token We'll do a 2x or a 3x. PTGC will do a 2x or a 3x, and some of our other assets will go up rapidly as well due to liquidity bonding, deflationary token economics, and just momentum, morale, and profits on that chain that can roll into the altcoins. So I don't know, is right now the time that you want to do the buyback of Surf token from the DAO and maybe burn that, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's pull that up in 1 second. I would just say one thing on Pulse Chain first. Pulse Chain is going to recover. It's heavily tied to Ethereum. Ethereum has been down. We know that. And so Pulse Chain is being dragged down. So it's something to worry about. I do, if Richard Hart, you're listening, have a suggestion for you, my friend. I've seen your tweets recently. I get it. You're probably getting attacked. There's haters, this and that, because who knows, the price is down. People are blaming you. I get it. I've been there. We live that life too, at least to a smaller degree. Here is, being part of the Surf DAO. But stay positive, man. You don't need to threaten banning people or threaten this, that, the other, or name call and get all aggressive. I think, anyway. I'd stay more positive. I'd like to see his tweets like, okay, I'm ignoring the haters. Here's what I'm doing concrete, X, Y, Z to, bring value to the chain. Here's our long-term vision. I'm not even listening to that bullshit. Instead, he's like in the trenches arguing with these people. I don't know. I think it's a little bit beneath him. So, Richard, if you're listening, stay a little positive. Don't focus on the haters and just build Pulse Chain up to where it deserves to be. We're still believers. We're absolutely still believers, and we know it's going to go higher. But these have been difficult times. Let's just stay positive overall.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too. He can still have the same mantra of not interacting with the haters or say this or say that, but like you said, make it constructive rather than just, hey, I'm smarter than you and you're a loser. It's like, yes, we know you're smarter, we know you're richer, we know you want glory, but it's like, you can do that with the rose-colored glasses on. We see that with CZ. CZ went to prison. Everybody's attacking him, hating on Binance. Binance just freaking got caught manipulating the market, and yet, he's just moving on with his day. Made a tweet like, forgiveness is a virtue. We all made money on Aster. We're keeping moving for BSC chain. Like, there's ways you can deflect this and still be positive and use your influence and your money to make chain and price go up. And when price goes up, nobody apparently cares what you're doing. Literally, they just got caught, liquidating people's shorts. But hey, Aster's up, so nobody's talking about that. They're hailing CZ as a king and a savior because they got some gains in their portfolio. So, I think I do agree. Use your intelligence to kind of just put a positive spin on things, and you're going to catch haters. Even if Pulse Chain does 100x from here, there's going to be haters because there's going to be people who are sidelined. There's going to be people who wanted a 200x, not 100x. There's going to be people who buy the top. I mean, it always happens. Even with Surf token, we gave away like 40% of the supply, and people complained at 100K market cap because it was too cheap. People complained at a 4 million market cap because it was too expensive, and now people are complaining here around a 700, 800,000 market cap, even when we're about to deploy $3,000 into a buy and burn because it's not going up fast enough, even though Pulse Chain is down. So you can't make everybody happy. All you can do is be positive, do the right things, and if you're continuing, like, we can put the 3,000 in our pocket, but then Surf's not going to do very well, and we probably lose all of our credit. So instead of doing that, we're going to do a buy and burn, keep building the brand of Crypto Paradise, keep building Surf. And the haters, hey, you can just keep hating, but we know you're watching, we know you're following our TA, and we know that if you change your tune, you'll make gains the remainder of this year and into 2026.
Yeah, I think positive mindset, just doing right by people. Not to say that Richard, is a scammer or something like that. Just be positive and good things will happen. I do think, honestly, it is largely dictated by price. I mean, if price was up, you wouldn't be hearing the haters come out to any extent. So this is just how it goes. Maybe you want to pull up a deck screener because I think the Surf DAO is ready to initiate a buyback of the Surf token. Let's just see if we can get that going here. Nothing wrong with a little bit of slippage. Nothing wrong with a little bit of slippage when you're looking for the glory of green candles. So let's just see here. Let's increase our gas because,
Yeah, and all these little transactions here, these are bots or this is like the Yak DAO auto buying and burning Surf. So that's a nice thing too. We have Bear AI coming. We got other projects coming. And boom, there you go. Just routing through the PLS pair alone is a $2,356 buy. That's 327,000 Surf bought off the open market that will be burned. And I'm sure you have data on how much more it really was because some of that will get rerouted through PulseX, through X, and through other liquidity pools. For buy and burn as well. So it looks like
it was over 400,000 Surf.
There you go.
On my calculation here. So nice little buy. How's the chart?
Nice little green candle.
Yeah, a little green candle action. Love it. Love to see. Who knows what this will spur on? Maybe some more volume, more buyers. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. It seems like everyone's
What's
so
crazy
bearish
is
right now. No one wants to touch any altcoins right now except us.
what's crazy is there's
short.
euphoria. There's euphoria over gold being up 10% on this breakout over the course of a month, and that one buy just moved, off the lows, surface up 12.55%. Now, it's granted you have way thinner liquidity, so you can't move big money, but it's just funny how when there's big money in play, a 10% move for people in gold is euphoria, and a 12% move on surf from one buy and burn, it goes unnoticed. And that applies to all altcoins and Bitcoin and everything else. That's why that's why we keep saying 244,000 Bitcoin isn't crazy. That's a 2x. I mean, it has a 12x in it just to catch what gold is today, and gold keeps going higher, which means that Bitcoin is still trying to chase that glory as well. So there's a lot of upside potential in Bitcoin and Ethereum. People forget about that, and I think there's going to be a lot of euphoria if and when this altcoin season happens, and you see small altcoins running from $1 million to $10 million to $100 million market cap. Remember, Surf has already hit 3.5 million when Pulse Chain was only about 60% higher from here. And people are saying if Pulse Chain doesn't do a 10x the remainder of the cycle, it's a complete and utter failure. So if Pulse Chain, the largest asset on the chain, is doing a 10x, why can't PTGC or X or Surf or Roam or Vox or RhinoFi or any of these other Pulse Chain assets we talk about do the same 10x or more? Math would tell you that it's probable. So there you go, guys. Putting our money where our mouth is. There is over 400,000 Surf. That is 0.4% of the total supply going to be burned out of circulation forever. That is why the Dow voted to buy and burn Surf rather than add LPs. When the price is low, Pulse Chain is too deep. That means Surf is too cheap. These buybacks and burns mean you can take entirely more of the supply off the open market and get it burnt. You just bought and burnt 0.4% of the total supply of an asset that's going to go to 100 million market cap. How does it make you feel?
Well, play well. The audience loves it. We love it. Everyone loves it. Let's see who else loves it. Where's my boy? There's my boy Martin. Martin thought it was awesome. Yeah, it was fun, man. That was fun. Let's do it again next month. This is when you want to do it, right? The price are bottomed out. Sentiment is at its lowest. Everyone's so bearish right now. But in crypto, things flip so quickly. That's what it's just funny. Like, people forget that. I think everyone's so caught up in the moment. And it happens too when it's bullish, right? When it's super bullish and it's been bullish for a month, you're like, it's gonna last forever. Bearish, having a bearish day, it's going to zero. I get it. This is how it works. But things do flip. They tend to flip quickly. We get one announcement today from Trump. We get some dovish speech from Powell. We could be off to the races again. ETH back to 4,500 and then racing towards 5,000. Then Pulse Chain's blasted off the lows and Surface run. Guys, it can flip quick, and it will flip quick. And to Nick's point, look, we're an undervalued asset class no matter how you slice it. I know 200,000 Bitcoin sounds like a lot because we've never seen it before. But if you look at it from a market cap standpoint, it would still be a fraction of where gold's at, right? So I just think we're early. Everyone will just be patient. I know these past few days have sucked. Sentiment's low. Altcoins are down. But things can flip very quickly, and this will all be distant memory soon.
Yeah, I think before I look at that list too, this is what I want. This is a good teaching lesson for those who are in Surf or who aren't in Surf. So this buy came in. It got split up between PLS pair, PLSX, and then probably a little bit in some of the other ancillary pairs because we got liquidity pools everywhere. But look what immediately happened afterwards. This was almost in the click of a button. The contract goes to work. There was immediately a bot sell of $332. This is getting split up between the Dow, getting split up between the No Expectation and some other wallets. You have an $80 buy immediately. This is probably what's getting paid out as reflection rewards to Surf holders. You get a liquidity add. $40 got added to the PLS and Surf liquidity for the transaction. And then you see the other bots arbitraging out pricing from other pairs, which created volume on this pair and others, which we know volume has a 5% tax and creates more of these ancillary buy and burns, LP ads, and everything else. So it's pretty cool how quick the smart contract works. We're buying and burning these tokens. People are receiving, the DAO's getting more funds, the LP's getting bigger, and then more volume is generated by the arbitrage bots as well. So that's pretty cool to see live in action on the DEX screener, the DEX tool, as fast as that happens. And of course, we had a 12.55% rally in the Surf token as well. So we'll see if, Pulse Chain wants to help us out, Ethereum wants to help us out, and we're going to keep doing our thing. Remember, we have other projects that will be buying and burning the Surf token in the future. We have other marketing deals and pre-sales going on. A portion of any funds generated by those is going to be going towards Surf buy and burns and Surf marketing. And the no expectation wallet still has like $6,000 or $7,000 worth of PLS over in there that we're holding and waiting for the right timing to spend on a marketing campaign. That will be Pulse Chain KOLs and influencers, banner ads, non-native Pulse Chain KOLs and influencers trying to get them over to Pulse Chain, trying to get their community bridge over and get Surf token as well. When the alt season comes back in action.
Oh man, I'm getting bullish again. Shout out to all the Surf community members, the DAO members. I'm excited that you guys voted for the buy and burn. I think it's a great thing to do. Looking forward to doing it again. And yeah, activity levels up in the Telegram. People are happy, so great to see that as well. Please, guys, if you're listening in, give us a comment, talk about the burn. Let's make it a thing. So excited for that. And look, alt season, man. Everyone's too bearish right now, but it is going to come, and that's going to be, we're gonna be relishing the fact that we just bought 400,000 Surf and burned it all.
This is Collector Crypt, a Solana pre-sale that absolutely exploded. Went up like from 400K market cap to a 400 million market cap. It is on a steep pullback, but what do you expect when people are up 1,000x? This is the line I drew back here a while ago where I would get interested again. This would be back down to something like, I think, $73 million market cap. This is a crypto crosses with collectibles platform that is earning revenue, but I expect to see the downward pressure continue just because, remember, people got in the pre-sale down here at 400K market cap and only had to wait a month for it to do 100x, 1,000x. So this is serving as a good pointer for us that pre-sales could be back and how to do things on Solana. And B, this might be an asset that we look to buy, but we need to see a steeper correction. We can't front run or jump in front of these pre-salers who are still up something like, I don't know, 500x right here, something crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that one yet. I don't want to be exit liquidity for folks who did 1,000x. Like, no, thank you. I want to be the guy that did 1,000x. Rather than the guy that's getting dumped on. So that's what we're working on with the likes of Quants. By the way, quick update there. The TG is postponed because they're working on a big partnership. So hopefully that does come to fruition, and I think it'll end up being a good thing. But quick postponement there. Oh, look, they did a little retweet from one of our videos. Isn't that wonderful to see? Crypto Paradise on their feed. But quick update on Quants. I think good things are going to be happening for those guys, but a short TGE delay gives the DAO members. I know there's one guy looking to get his funds in to get invested in the strategic round. Gives him a few more days to get that going, and hopefully by the time they do launch, market is full blown, euphoria, green candles.
Yeah, this is when Nate did a deep dive and they just retweeted it. So pretty cool. This you do have a chance here with this slight delay to get 200K Surf and to access the pre-sale still for Quants. You probably have another 24 to 36 hours to do so. I don't know the exact numbers on that. But we do have quite a few members who are involved in the Quants pre-sale KBAI token. And we've been saying this, and I'll repeat it. It's kind of in the same sector of Hyperliquid and Aster have done extremely well. Frontier Fund, who's done extremely well, and is going to have a similar launch strategy to that of Collector Crypt. Remember, 400K initial market cap ran to 400 million. And what do you know? Quants is going to have about a 240,000 initial market cap. Will it run to 246 million? I don't know about that. But this is a good sign that you could get some good gains on Quants. And the fact that the sector that it's in is doing well with the perpetuals and the decentralized investment sector is cool. And, getting a project with 42,000 followers to retweet us. Hey, we're doing something right at Crypto Paradise. And hopefully our influence continues into alt season. We can get you guys in some bangers.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. When alt season finally kicks off in earnest, it's above $5,000, Bitcoin's like 150K, pre-sales will absolutely make a roaring comeback because everyone will get risk on again and realize that the best way to make money is to get in very early. And so people will be investing in companies. A lot of them will suck. A lot of them will be vaporware. Let's just be honest about that. But money will be made. And you know what's going to happen to Surf token? It's going to absolutely skyrocket because people are going to realize, wait, I can't source these pre-sale opportunities on my own. I don't have any connections. I can't get into these rounds very easily. So I'm going to go through in, let's call it a syndicate or incubator, or whatever you want to call it, to get into these rounds. It's happened every other cycle. So I'd be very surprised if it doesn't happen. It just takes risk on. It just takes alt season. It takes that greed meter to be, turned all the way up to the right there. And things will come roaring back. And Surf Token will be the beneficiary of that because, 200,000 Surf to get into the Dow. I mean, right now it's dirt cheap, but we roared back towards all-time highs on Surf, around 4 million market cap, and you're looking at like 10 grand to get in there.
Yeah, if there's any comments, questions, concerns, throw it in the chat box. We'll get to those. Again, these comments are being sourced from YouTube, so if you're on Twitter, try to hop on YouTube if you want to get in the live comment section until Riverside adds that functionality. And this is kind of what we're talking about with the gold versus Bitcoin chart. Gold's rally today has officially put it over $25.5 trillion at a $3,800 price. If it gets close to that 4,000, you're going to be over $26 trillion. That is over an 11x for Bitcoin right here. Even with Bitcoin back to 113,000, Bitcoin would need to do over 11x to catch up to the likes of gold.
Should I just rifle through my wife's jewelry box and start selling off her jewelry? Is it time to do that? Is it time?
Might be a good time to pawn some gold. I don't know.
I'm only half kidding. I'm only partially kidding. I mean, I got some gold jewelry just sitting there doing nothing. I'd rather have some digital gold Bitcoin,
Looks like we got
all of that for 10 years, turned into 100 grand. But in any event, good for anyone holding gold. I'm happy for you guys. Historically, when gold runs, it only takes 2-3 months, maybe not even, for that to rotate down into Bitcoin. That's a historical trend that's been proven time and again. So I see no reason why it won't happen this time. I just think, look, Binance manipulating us. Everyone's impatient. No one wants to wait here in the crypto markets. Everyone's a Jeet, and so your euphoria season's been delayed a little bit. But look, we're not even in October. September is always a little bit choppy. Let's hear what Powell has to say today. Let's see what the Fed does on the end of October, the next meeting. I think we're going to get another rate cut. I'm quite sure of it, actually. And then at some point, people are going to say, all right, we're getting out of these money market funds. We're getting out of these, fixed income type instruments that are only yielding like 2%, not even beating inflation. I'm going to get risk on and move into stocks and Bitcoin and crypto, etc. And Trump will have queued it up. He'll have teed it up because it'll be through your 401k this time, apparently, not even on Coinbase. So good stuff all around.
Looks like we got Fat Shami in the comment sections if you want to do that. He said, hi all, and then we got a question from Martin if you want to pull that up as well.
Oh, shit. Yeah. What's up, Fat Sammy? How you doing, bud? Let's get Fat Sammy on another live stream. Great to hear from him. We'd love to hear his perspective on Pulse Chain and markets and all that. See what he's up to, so let's make that happen. And then from Martin, is this the last chance to put fresh money on the market and get cheap prices? I mean, I don't know if it's the last chance. We'll probably have more dips, more, Binance manipulation, crashes, whatever. But we're probably getting to the point where, certainly on a lot of altcoins, I can't imagine low cap alts are going to go much lower here. ETH, I will see. That's a different thing. Solana, maybe we'll see. But some of these low cap projects that are at sub 1 million market cap, I don't think they're going much lower. So look, not financial advice, but damn, I can't imagine. It feels like higher probability of going higher than a bigger probability of going lower on these low caps.
Yeah, and we'll see. Like I said, downside risk on Ethereum is 3,900, so not that much lower. But we went over this yesterday. Look at this: rally, consolidation, flush out, consolidation, flush out, consolidation, flush out. V-shaped recoveries for all these. Consolidation, is that the flush out? Do you need to get to 3,900 to be counted as the flush out? I don't know. Are you going to do plus or minus a few $100s before Ethereum goes to 10,000? That's up to you. Are you going to try to sell out of your microcap altcoin now, eat slippage, and then hope Ethereum dumps so you can then, do you have the balls to buy back your small caps? I don't know. That's up to you. So it's hard. I get it. There's not a lot of fresh capital sitting in the wayward to buy dips. You're already long. I would just say, hey, have conviction in what you're doing. Try to see if you can earn passive income, whether it's through staking, holding, or farming with any of your assets. Don't let that passive income sit on the sideline. And, have belief that at least Q4 2025 should be an explosive month for upside. And like you said earlier in this call, we went over 3 new macro fundamentals that should be very bullish for crypto. You got the SEC planning to introduce innovation exemption for crypto firms. You got Powell talking today, supposed to do another 50 basis point cuts by the end of the year. You got the White House saying they expect Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill to be done by the end of the year. You got some surprise new speech from Trump today. I mean, everything points to more capital inflowing into the crypto markets. And people say, well, Bitcoin's already expensive. Gold is 11x more expensive, and it's everywhere in the news today, going parabolic and going to new all-time highs. So if a $22 trillion asset in gold can go up 10% over the course of a month, why can't Bitcoin at 2.2 trillion go up as well?
Because, Nick, didn't you hear that 543 days after the low, Bitcoin is predetermined to dump by the Bitcoin gods? I thought you knew that, Nick. But in any event, glad to see Fat Sammy is still bullish and scooping ETH now. Good for him. I will tell you this, guys. Having been in the crypto markets for 8 years and the ups and the downs and everything, what always happens is you don't buy when it's low, right? After a crash like this because you're scared. It's going to go lower, bull market over, I don't know, all these negative thoughts going through your head, so you don't pull the trigger. But a week, 2 weeks, a month later, prices are higher. Things are running. You've had multiple green candles in a row. You're feeling bullish again. And then you buy in and you buy the top and you buy into the green instead of buying into the red. Happens every single time. So, I mean, Martin, your question, I don't know if this is the last dip, but better to buy now than be that guy FOMOing in a week or two from now once things are running again. You're muted, my friend.
I said, fair enough. I'm trying to get a screenshot of this top assets by market cap to make a Twitter post, and these damn ads at the bottom just want to keep cutting Bitcoin off. I think that just means that Bitcoin needs to go up $0.1 trillion and hop over Amazon. That way I can get a full screenshot with it included. That's all that means. Bitcoin needs to go to number 7 instead of being number 8.
Yeah, audience knows. It'll get there. It'll get there. And if you listen to Michael Saylor, maybe in 50 or 100 years, it's going to be number 1.
That would be wild.
Just saying. I mean, I like Bitcoin more than gold myself. Maybe I have holder's bias. But shiny rocks don't really get me excited. You know, digital gold gets me a little bit more excited. So, in any event, good stuff today. Lots to be bullish on. I think Trump might be speaking soon. My guess is we get some green candles today or very shortly thereafter. And this dump is a distant memory. Binance will manipulate the price up, and we'll be off to the races again. And you will be upset you didn't buy the dip like we just did with the surf DAO.
Yeah, I think we kind of recapped everything that's going on. I'm sure we'll be having some more bullish posts. Stay tuned for some short-form content on those bullish posts. And congratulations, you just witnessed 0.4% of the total surf supply being bought and burned off the open market. And that puts us dang near 3% of the total supply being bought and burned already in just a few months, while Pulse Chain itself has been kind of down and to the right as well. So a lot of upside potential for the Surf token, a lot of upside potential for the other assets on that chain that are deflationary. And let's see what's going on. We're in the trenches. We're looking for some ETH gems. We're looking for some BSC gems, as some things are doing well over there. But even those chains, the altcoins, I'm in groups, guys, and they're making calls, and I'm doing due diligence, and they haven't even been producing gains. They're down 20%, 30%, 40%, even with BNB at all-time highs. So right now is just not the time to be making calls. We got to be really diligent on that, and we need to try to get some capital in the door so when the market heats up, we have capital for you guys to make some gains as well.
Well, the good news is Frontier Fund made us like 1% yesterday. So, didn't do anything, sat here, didn't have to worry about, researching these gems and buying in and then selling at the exact right time. I just sat, did nothing, made money. So, that was pretty cool. For those who are interested in doing nothing and making money, I suggest you get your 400,000 surf, get into the DAO, and get into the next round of Frontier Fund, because sitting around doing nothing and making money is one of the greatest joys in life. I'm just messing around. I'm in a mood today, guys. I'm in a little bit of a spicy mood. I guess the market's got me a little spicy, but it's great to be here. Great show today. We'll be back tomorrow with another live stream, and until then, we'll see you on the beach.